Welcome, horror lovers. I'm Pete, and today we're going to embark on a journey through some of the darkness. If you're new here, subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss any terrifying stories. In the heart of the Scottish Highlands, where the hills rise majestically and the lochs mirror the grey sky, lies a small village called Banchory, nestled along the banks of the River Dee. Long before the village became just a mark on the map, it was the setting of one of Scotland's most chilling mysteries, the legend of the Banchory Beast. His story begins in the 17th century during a harsh winter, when a heavy snowstorm blanketed the forests and mountains surrounding Banchory. During this period of extreme cold, when rivers froze and the wind cut through the land like sharp blades, villagers began to report sightings of a strange creature, a beast that roamed the dark forests and the riverbanks. Panic quickly spread among the locals, who described the creature as a shadowy figure of enormous proportions, with glowing red eyes and a roar that could be heard from miles away. Some believed it was an evil spirit, sent by the devil to punish the village, while others claimed it was an unknown wild animal, possibly an extinct species that had resurfaced from some remote corner of the Highlands. The legend of the Banchory Beast spread like wildfire, and stories told around campfires grew more detailed and terrifying. The first person to come face to face with the creature was a local hunter named Ewan MacLeod, a sturdy and fearless man known for his exceptional skills in hunting. On a cold February morning, Ewan decided to venture into the dense forests north of Banchory, in search of deer that, according to reports, had been avoiding the village due to the presence of something strange in the area. After hours of trekking through the snow, Ewan heard a low, guttural sound coming from between the trees. Cautiously approaching, he saw the creature for the first time. It was an immense figure, with black skin as dark as the night, and its eyes, like embers, reflected the weak sunlight. The hunter froze in fear, but before he could react, the beast vanished into the shadows of the forest, leaving behind only the echo of its threatening roar. Ewan rushed back to the village, recounting his experience in detail, but most of the villagers thought he had been a victim of a delirium brought on by the intense cold. However, sightings continued to increase. As time passed, the Banchory Beast grew bolder and more aggressive. Many witnesses began to report attacks on their property, livestock mutilated, horses found dead with deep claw marks, and even houses being attacked during the night. The villagers began to fear that the creature was hunting humans, and a wave of panic swept through the village. Fear grew, and many only ventured out during the day, afraid that the night would bring the presence of the beast. In one of the most terrifying stories, a young woman named Isla, the daughter of one of Banchory's oldest farmers, was alone at home on a stormy night. Her family was away from the village, and she was left to care for the property. Around midnight, a deep, guttural sound was heard near the window. Isla peered through a crack in the wood and saw the beast, larger than any tale had described. It was staring directly at the house, its red eyes glowing as though it intended to devour her. Isla, paralyzed with fear, could neither move nor make a sound. The beast remained there for over an hour, circling the house before vanishing into the darkness of the night. The young woman was never the same after that encounter. It was said that she could never again look into the forest without feeling a deep chill, and her eyes became empty, as if the spirit of the creature had marked her forever. The fear of the beast grew, and finally, the people of Banchory sought the help of a local priest. Reverend Malcolm Sinclair, known for his knowledge of the supernatural, accepted the task of investigating the legend. When he arrived in the village, the priest was astonished by the number of people claiming to have seen the creature. However, he did not believe in legends, but rather in his experience with the divine and the infernal. Sinclair decided to explore the forests around Banchory, and armed with a cross and a few prayers, he ventured into the dark woods. On one of the darkest nights of winter, he came face to face with the creature. The priest described the beast as something indescribable, neither an animal nor a monster, but something between the two, an entity from beyond, a manifestation of evil that was trying to claim the village. He attempted to invoke divine forces to drive the creature away, but instead, the beast roared furiously and disappeared into the shadows, leaving only the sound of its sharp claws scraping against the trees. Reverend Sinclair, shaken and unsure of what to do next, resorted to an exorcism ritual, but nothing seemed to work. The beast continued to haunt the villagers, and each day the stories grew more fantastic and terrifying. Over time, the legend of the Bankery beast began to lose its strength. Some say the creature simply vanished, leaving the village in peace, while others believe it became a shadow, lurking in the darkest nights, waiting for the right moment to return. Some even claim the beast never existed at all, that it was just a terrifying tale created by the villagers to explain the mysteries of the wild nature of the highlands. However, to this day, on certain cold winter nights, when the wind howls through the trees, the bravest souls who venture along the banks of the River Dee claim to hear a distant roar, as if something, or someone, is still lurking in the darkness. Whatever the truth may be, the legend of the Bankery beast lives on in the collective memory of Scotland, a reminder of the mysterious forces that inhabit the forests and the shadows that still haunt the most remote corners of the land. The village, quiet and peaceful in the daylight, hides a past filled with fear and wonder, where an unknown creature, with red eyes and sharp claws, once roamed the forests and left an indelible mark on the stories told around the hearths. In the heart of the Russian wilderness, where long winters and dense forests shroud the land in mystery, there exists a legend that has haunted villages for centuries, the legend of the Bayonne cat. While many dismiss it as a mere folk tale, to those who live in the remote, isolated villages of Russia, it is a very real and terrifying presence. The Bayonne cat is said to be a mystical, supernatural feline, capable of weaving hypnotic stories and songs that can entrap both mind and soul. The tale of the Bayonne cat dates back to ancient times, long before Russia became the vast nation it is today. Bayonne is derived from an old Russian word meaning singer or storyteller, a fitting name for a creature whose primary gift is its ability to speak in a voice so enchanting that it can captivate anyone who listens. The Bayonne is often described as a large, silver-furred cat with golden eyes that seem to glow in the dark. Its pelt shines like moonlight, and its movements are both graceful and unnerving, as if it is more than just an ordinary animal. One of the earliest and most well-known accounts of the Bayonne cat comes from a Russian hunter named Anatoly Ivanov, who lived in a small village near Vologda in the early 19th century. Ivanov had gone out hunting in the forest during the winter, when a heavy snowstorm struck. After wandering for hours, he lost his way and sought shelter in a small, abandoned cabin. Inside, he encountered a strange cat, one with silvery fur and golden eyes, that calmly entered the cabin and sat by the fire. As Ivanov tried to warm himself, the cat began to purr and, to his astonishment, spoke. Its voice was soft and melodic, as if it were singing a lullaby. The cat began telling stories of ancient times, of Russian folklore, and of the gods who once roamed the land. Ivanov sat transfixed, unable to move or look away. The hours passed unnoticed, and the deeper the cat's stories grew, the more Ivanov felt as though he were being drawn into a trance. Before leaving, the cat spoke one final warning. "Be careful, hunter, for not all stories should be heard. Some tales have the power to change fate." When Ivanov returned to his village, he shared his encounter, but most of the villagers thought he was simply delirious from the cold. However, some began to take the tale seriously, especially as other stories began to surface. Ivanov's encounter was not unique. In another village called Urilovo, a woman named Irina Petrova experienced a similar event that left her forever changed. Irina, a young peasant woman, had been visiting her family in a nearby town when she became lost in the forest during a snowstorm. The trees seemed darker and more oppressive than usual, and the wind howled through the branches, making it hard to find her way back. After wandering for hours, Irina saw a shape move in the distance. As she approached, she found the Bayonne cat, with its glowing golden eyes staring directly at her. The cat began to purr and sing softly, and as it did, Irina felt herself being lulled into a trance. The cat began speaking to her, warning her that a terrible tragedy would soon befall her village, but if she followed its instructions, she could prevent the worst from happening. Irina, fearful but captivated, asked what she should do. Before the cat could respond, however, it vanished into the woods, leaving her alone and confused. When Irina returned to her village, she found her family's house destroyed by fire. Despite her efforts to heed the Bayonne's warning, she had been unable to prevent the disaster in time. The villagers, already familiar with the rumors of the Bayonne cat, began to believe that it was a mystical force that operated beyond human understanding. Over time, the legend of the Bayonne cat became deeply embedded in Russian folklore. It was no longer just a story told to scare children, but a serious superstition that warned against wandering too far into the woods or listening to the tales of mysterious beings. In the more remote villages, parents would often tell their children not to go into the forest at night, for if they heard the Bayun's voice, it could lure them into a trance and lead them astray. The creature was said to be both protector and punisher, guarding ancient secrets and delivering cryptic warnings to those who dared to listen. Several folk beliefs developed around the Bayun cat. It was widely believed that the Bayun's stories were not just tales, but had the power to alter the future. Listening to them could bind the listener's fate to the creature's will. Some said that hearing the cat's song would drive a person mad, while others claimed that it would trap them in a never-ending cycle of dreams, unable to wake or leave. The forest's guardian. Many believed that the Bayun cat was not just a mythical being, but a guardian of the forest spirits. The forest, with its ancient trees and secrets, was thought to hold great power. The Bayun was seen as a protector of those secrets, allowing only those with the right intentions to learn them. The power of silence. Another superstition said that the Bayun only appeared to those who had been alone for too long. People who ventured deep into the forest without speaking for long periods of time were more likely to encounter the cat. Some believed this was because silence allowed the listener to attune themselves to the mysterious energies of the forest, making them more receptive to the Bayun's voice. Although the Bayun cat's legend originated in ancient Russia, its influence persisted into the 20th century. During the chaos of the Russian Revolution, there were several reports of soldiers and villagers who claimed to have seen the Bayun in the forests near battlefields. Some described hearing the cat's voice, which seemed to speak of death, fate, and the coming struggles of the world. Others believed that the Bayun was a supernatural entity sent to guide them through the horrors of war, offering comfort in the form of ancient stories. In the modern era, the Bayun cat has become a part of Russia's rich folklore tradition. While many dismiss it as just a tale, there are still those in rural areas who take the story seriously. Some even claim to hear the soft purring of the Bayun on moonlit nights, and a few say they've encountered the creature while wandering the forests at night. For these people, the Bayun is a reminder that the natural world holds mysteries that are beyond human comprehension. The legend of the Bayun cat endures, haunting the forests and villages of Russia. Whether a supernatural being or a symbol of the untamed wilderness, the Bayun represents the power of nature and the deep, unknowable mysteries that lie within it. For those brave or foolish enough to listen, the Bayun's songs and stories are a gateway to a world where fate, destiny, and the very fabric of reality are up for interpretation. And as the legend goes, if you should hear its voice in the night, be careful. Some stories are not meant to be heard, and some tales can change the course of your life forever. Leave your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching.